Kriptoverzum. We're underwriting a new wave of investment. Everything you need to know about cryptocurrencies and the technology behind them. New tools, new technologies, and new business applications. Our Oder collaboration partner is crypto trading platform Mosaic Alpha.
Welcome to Kriptoverzum again today. Sitting across from me is Attila Vidakovic, founder of Mosaic Alpha, and I'm Tana Andorto. Welcome everyone. Hi Attila.
Hi, welcome to the listeners.
Mosaic Alpha, that's what we're talking about today. You've launched in live after the launch of the test version last November. In the weeks following the launch of the test version in November last year, this trading platform has launched in live, but we're not talking about how it works. We're talking a little bit about the background. It's just launched and it's just received an award.
Yes, we have also received a very big recognition, because to understand why we are so proud of this from a little bit further away, the world of decentralized finance is in its infancy, and there are still a lot of problems to be solved for this whole ecosystem to work well. That's why there are these gaps that a lot of people are looking for solutions to, because if one of these elements is solved, then the whole ecosystem can work much better. And
then there are still many gaps in the market.
But these are not easy challenges, so don't think that just because you're very creative, you'll find it. So you have to know the profession, the whole system, and the technology well, because a lot of time can be wasted if someone thinks they can solve it so easily and then realizes that the technology doesn't allow us to solve it so easily. But we have been looking at this whole madness for a very long time, which is beginning to be implemented in the Mosaic system, and we would like to fill this gap and solve it in a very nice way. By the way, there are still one or two elements in Tarsoi that the world needs to solve, but fortunately, the industry, the crypto public, and even the financial industry have been interested in our system. So we received a very prestigious award, the title of the Gap-Filling DeFi Platform of the Year, the Gap-Filling DeFi Platform, because it really can enable people who are not deep into cryptography, who are not that familiar with the technology, but who want to get services in a decentralized environment by cutting out these intermediaries who are really just connecting customers to service providers. It's a very big recognition. It's obviously a good marketing tool as well, so we're obviously going to use that for marketing. And it was very exciting because they came from a very wide range of places just to get to know us and the system better. We had 3 or 4 of the world's biggest financial institutions here who were very interested to see how it would work in the future, what opportunities it would hold for them. And that's also very good feedback when you hear from the leaders in person, which you can hear about in news reports and in pamphlets, that they want to open up to such systems, but to experience that they are coming there, and they are coming there to meet us because they have heard about this system is very, very inspiring. And it shows that we are on the right track, and it is very exciting for the whole market that indeed some of the biggest players were there, and they are interested in how they can take advantage of this market, because they are thinking that there will be a lot of money here sooner or later, a lot of money that is interesting for them, and they want to serve these customers and not be disturbed by it. They want to enter the world of DeFi, and whether they will use the Mosaic Alpha for this is a question for the future, or whether they have come primarily to understand better how we think.
But that's what I wanted to ask you, because we've said many times that Mosaic Alpha is a user-friendly trading platform for the average person. How can a major banking player, a financial player, come into this picture?
You have to understand that the Mosaic Alpha platform is really just a platform. So we don't provide there. The players in the marketplace have to do both the customer part and the service part. And you have to think of it as if I were running a marketplace and then vendors come there, they use the marketplace, and customers come to the marketplace to meet the vendors. So the first milestone of the Mosaic system that has now been launched is the Mosaic Alpha platform, which is waiting for traders, professional traders who are willing to trade in a decentralized environment. In other words, to trade money in a way that they cannot touch any of the money. So they can't take it, they don't store it. They are actually like a karmic planner of how the trading is going to be done, and no one has access to the client's money except the client. So if a user comes there, nobody can take his money away. Not the authorities, not the hackers, nobody, only he can take it away. These interfaces that are in such a system, so we call them trustless systems, are trustless because you don't have to trust anybody, because there is no possibility for anybody to act outside the rules. They can usually be used by an average internet user after a lot of learning, so it is not easy to use. And Mosaic Alpha was designed from the very first moment to be used by the average internet user. And well, from the first feedback, it's been very successful.
More precisely, I have to trust myself because I decide which basket I put my money in, right? Where it can disappear.
The thing is that money cannot really lose its value.
The value, yes,
Because
yes.
if a trader trades badly, the value of the assets that are in it can fall. And of course, this is a risky market, a risky investment, which is an added value from the point of view that if you go to a crypto trading floor, which is known to many people, you have to give the crypto trading floor the money and it can disappear there. The asset can disappear and the value can disappear.
We've seen it before.
So this happens regularly. By the way, these are typically the service providers who operate in the decentralized system. Now, it cannot happen that an asset disappears. A bad trade can result in the asset that is there being devalued. So it is very important what kind of traders come to the system. By the way, we're going back to London and we're going to give a full day presentation specifically to crypto traders on the opportunities that are available to them here.
Speaking a little bit generally, you just said that at this award ceremony, there was a lot of interest in Mosaic Alpha from the traditional financial world. Stepping back one step, Amblock, can you say about this market and the traditional financial market, how the two are converging? Are the two becoming friends? Because we often hear very sharp statements, very sharp opinions from very big names that this market is doomed to die, that it is a fraud, that we should not invest. And we often hear the opposite, that Bitcoin will be worth $100,000, $200,000 or $300,000. I don't know, in a few months. So that we have both extremes. Are the two converging?
There is a lot of mixing, otherwise my answer is very close, but to make it clearer. On the one hand, technology is not the same as the price of Bitcoin and the price of crypto assets. It is a speculative instrument, and everything can move around, but technology is much more than that. And that is why these financial institutions cannot ignore what is happening here, because there is a huge amount of money entering the decentralized world. And we can already sense that we have reached the threshold where, for example, a bond issue may not even be worth making in the traditional way. And the skeptical view is that it is an absolute possibility, whether in the European Union or in the USA, and in most countries, if someone has a license to issue a bond or any other kind of security, they can do it on crypto technology and start selling it on a platform like this. What we are seeing now are many, many cases where you could go there for a lot more money. I'll give you an example. Let's say if the mall We don't have such a negotiation with the mall, so let's not go out there that this is just an example, okay? So if the mall wants to issue the bond, it might be more profitable for them to issue it in this environment because there's a lot of money, there's a lot of liquidity, there's a lot of money looking for a place. And just by putting a mall bond in a tokenized form in a listing like this, which is legally absolutely equivalent to a conventional bond token, he may be able to sell it much more easily and much more quickly, even sell it on better terms from the mall's point of view.
Now, we used to say that education is still needed for crypto trading specifically, so we need to educate people to get used to this market. It could also be said that they need to get used to this technology. They need to learn to trust this technology, right?
Yes, and there's a lot of truth in the fact that there's a lot of fraud, but it's either a deliberate misrepresentation of bad intentions, or it's very stupid to say that this technology is fraud. Unfortunately, it is true that there are a lot of fraudsters. There is a simple psychological reason for this. A lot of people bring their money here who are not particularly good at investing. But then, in the human condition, why does everyone want to earn a lot of money without a job? And because there is so much money going everywhere, if a fraudster says that a return of 10% a day can be achieved here, then he really does not have to promise anything more than that, and the money will go there. So this is the most outrageous of these promises of 10% a day, and this is the most outrageous promise I have seen, promising 100% a day in the recent past. But you don't have to. So much for the...
And there are the kites.
Tint, of course, so it's all a fraud. There's no such thing in the world as a guaranteed 10% a day. It knows it's a scam. The other day I could explain to somebody that if he takes a dice and calculates how much money he will have in 10 years if he invests 1 million forints, because he will have more money than there is on this planet, but otherwise there is not enough money in this solar system or even in the whole galaxy to make the money with 10% a day work. There is no such thing. So if someone wants to make a lot of money from investing, they have to take a big risk. Here is the opportunity along with the big risk. But there are deceptive things. Someone issues a token, the Figgy token, and says that he pays the daily 10%, but it is Figgy tokens from which he can produce any amount of 0 forints. And it is true that he will be able to start up with 1,000 times as much of that Figgy token in a year, but it will be worth nothing.
Now we've digressed from the original topic of the prize you won. It's an international response technically. Are there still international reactions?
We've had a lot of inquiries, we've had a lot of calls from a lot of places, so it's interesting that they weren't there from Asia, but the upshot of the event is that we've had a lot of inquiries from Asia, from Malaysia, from Singapore, so we don't have any dates set yet to go there, but we'd like to go and call, and we've been called. Well, we go to a lot of places in Europe, but now London seems to be a center of this world, and maybe the center of that world. My understanding is that there is quite a strong link there between financial institutions, traditional financial institutions, and the crypto world. HSBC, for example, has a room that is specifically set up to organize meetups and events, where the focus is mainly on crypto and the decentralized world.
And is the regulatory side cooperative?
I'm not up to date on the regulatory side of the UK rules. I know it used to be very permissive, and then a lot of projects were backed off, so they've sort of tightened that up. But there are a lot of London registered or UK registered crypto projects, so I think the rules are permissive. And now it looks more and more like the European Union is opening up a big one there towards cryptos.
This is a separate issue. I spoke to Attila Vidakovic, founder of Mosaic Alpha. Attila, thank you for being here.
Thank you very much.
You have heard Alna and/or Toth. Please join us next time.
Kriptoverzum, every Monday and Thursday in the Morning Monitor. What you need to know about cryptocurrencies and the technology behind them. In partnership with crypto trading platform Mosaic. Join us next time.